With The Mandalorian Season 3 off to a good start, most fans have noticed that there are hints or Easter eggs that are alluding to the sequel trilogy. And the question has to be asked, should The Mandalorian connect to the sequel trilogy or should it remain its own thing? Now, I know the sequel trilogy is a shaky topic to say the least in the Star Wars fandom, but if you stick around to the end of this video, I think you will see what's going on behind the scenes and be really excited for the future of Star Wars. Or, for some of you, you might be even more angry, seeing how you are already angry and have only said the sequels 3 times. So hold on to your hats because this is going to be a crazy one. What's up guys, it's Mike, a guy who loves Star Wars, and today we are talking about the forbidden section of the Star Wars timeline, the sequels. Well, kind of. We're talking about how The Mandalorian is connecting to the sequels and whether or not it should. We have to ask ourselves, would The Mandalorian be helping the sequel trilogy like the Clone Wars helped the prequels? And could this Mandoverse actually make the sequels better? It is a crazy time in the Star Wars fandom where most people just hear the word sequels and start screaming and running the other way. However, Star Wars has been living on Disney Plus for the last 4 years, and their hit show, The Mandalorian, takes place 20-ish years before the dreaded sequel trilogy. So at some point, time is going to run out, the First Order is going to rise up, Ben Solo will turn into Kylo Ren, turning to the dark side, and Luke Skywalker will be an old hermit on an island. But what if Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, the creators of the Mandoverse, could do the impossible? What if they could make the sequel trilogy better without even touching it? Now before you say you're crazy, that's impossible. That's impossible! Dave Filoni has already done this to the prequel trilogy with the creator George Lucas himself when they created the Clone Wars. Now I know what you're thinking, the prequels were already good, they didn't need the Clone Wars. Then if good can turn to great, then why can't turn into good? And as I mentioned earlier, Star Wars has been out of the movie theaters for 4 years. But there is a return to the big screen in the works for December 2025. Now this movie is being written by Damon Lindelof and will take place after the sequel trilogy. And I know many of you, myself included, think that Disney is really dumb. But they can't possibly be stupid enough to release this movie with the title of sequel anywhere near it. They would cut their profits in half and that movie would tank badly. However, what if The Mandalorian is connecting to not only the sequel trilogy, but the post-sequel trilogy? Almost all of the characters in The Mandalorian right now could live past the sequel trilogy. Because as I've said a million times on this channel, the sequels are just 1 to 2 bad years. And in a galaxy that spans over tens of thousands of years, that means nothing. And with a character like Grogu, who can live for the next 900 years, the possibilities are endless. But with the connections like Dr. Pershing possibly creating Snoke or even a Palpatine clone, and the Empire getting stronger in the Outer Rim, which will inevitably lead to the First Order, or even seeing Luke Skywalker's Jedi Temple, which we know eventually gets destroyed by Ben Solo. There is no denying the connections to the sequel trilogy in this Mandoverse. But the question remains, should The Mandalorian connect to the sequel trilogy? But tell me what you think in the comment section below. Do you think The Mandalorian should just stay its own thing and not connect to the sequel trilogy at all? Or do you think it could make the sequels better by connecting to them? And I know the sequels are a very, very touchy subject for most people, many people either loving them and trying to defend them, or many people crapping all over them and crapping on the people who like them. But tell me what you think in the comment section below. Smash a like if you like this video, hit subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video. And you never know, with characters like Grogu, Din Djarin, Ahsoka Tano, Bo-Katan, Ezra Bridger, and Grand Admiral Thrawn, they could all live past the sequel trilogy, and their stories, especially Grogu's, could continue for a long, long time. And if you want more videos like this, breakdown videos, leaks, and rumor videos, and of course, 2 live streams every week on Tuesday and Thursday, stick around this channel by hitting that subscribe, and may the force be with you, always.